A War Abroad, A Struggle at Home. The title encapsulates the dual battles faced by many during one of the most tumultuous times in history. Written by David McCullough, Simon & Schuster. This book delves deep into the complexities of World War II, shedding light on the lesser-known struggles faced by those on the home front. The world plunged into darkness. Cities were bombed, lives were shattered, and the very fabric of society was torn apart. The year was 1939, a year that would mark the beginning of a global conflict unlike any other. World War II had begun. Nations were drawn into a deadly dance of power, alliances, and survival. The United States, hesitant at first, was drawn into the global conflict. President Franklin D. Roosevelt's address to the nation marked a turning point. America needed every able soldier. Recruitment posters adorned every street corner, calling young men to serve their country. Yet for African Americans, the fight for freedom took on a double meaning. They were not only fighting for their country, but also for their own rights and dignity. They faced an enemy overseas and inequality at home. The battlefields of Europe and the Pacific were mirrored by the battlegrounds of civil rights in America. America, land of the free, held on to segregation. The irony was stark and painful for those who fought for freedom abroad, but were denied it at home. Black Americans were treated as second-class citizens. Despite their contributions, they were often marginalized and oppressed. The military was no different. Segregation was enforced, and African American soldiers were often relegated to menial tasks. Segregated units, limited roles, and widespread prejudice were the norm. But change was brewing. The winds of change were beginning to blow, and the seeds of the civil rights movement were being sown. Pressure mounted for African Americans to contribute to the war effort. Despite the challenges, many answered the call with courage and determination. The call was answered, giving rise to the Tuskegee Airmen. These brave men not only fought the enemy abroad, but also challenged the status quo at home, paving the way for future generations. Walls of prejudice, wings of hope. The Tuskegee Airmen were more than just pilots, they were pioneers. They faced discrimination with unwavering determination. They were denied opportunities readily available to their white counterparts. Training facilities were inferior, resources were scarce, yet they soared above these challenges. Their dedication to their country was unwavering. They knew their success was vital, not just for victory in the war, but for the fight for equality back home. Every flight was a testament to their skill and a challenge to the pervasive racism of the time. Forging iron eagles in Alabama, Tuskegee, Alabama became the center of their world. This small town, nestled in the heart of the South, would become a beacon of hope and a crucible of change. It was here at the Tuskegee Institute that history was made. Founded by Booker T. Washington, the Institute was already a symbol of African American achievement and resilience. The United States Army Air Corps established a groundbreaking program. This initiative was not just about training pilots. It was about breaking barriers and challenging the status quo. Its purpose to train African Americans to fly and maintain combat aircraft. This was a revolutionary step in a segregated military, aiming to prove that skill and bravery know no color. This marked the birth of the Tuskegee Airmen. The training was rigorous. The standards were high. The instructors were demanding. Every day was a test of their resolve and their abilities. The airmen persevered, pushing themselves to the limit. They excelled in navigation, air combat tactics, and aircraft maintenance. Their dedication and hard work were unmatched, and they knew the stakes were high. They were determined to prove themselves worthy of the wings they earned. These wings were not just symbols of their ability to fly, they were emblems of their courage, their determination, and their unyielding spirit. The Tuskegee Airmen would go on to make history, not just as pilots, but as pioneers of equality and justice. Against the odds into the skies. 1943 marked a turning point. The Tuskegee Airmen, now the 99th Fighter Squadron, were deployed to North Africa. They entered the fight in Europe, their mission to escort bombers, their goal to protect them from enemy fire. The skies were treacherous. German fighters, known as the Luftwaffe, were formidable opponents. But the Tuskegee Airmen, nicknamed Red Tails for the distinctive paint on their aircraft, quickly earned a reputation for their skill and courage. Escorting victory, the Red Tails triumph. The Red Tails flew mission after mission. They escorted bombers over strategic targets in Europe. They faced relentless attacks. They fought with unmatched bravery and skill. Their success rate was remarkable. They suffered fewer bomber losses than any other escort group. Their reputation for excellence became legendary. Word of their accomplishments spread throughout the Allied forces. Bomber crews requested the Red Tails by name. They knew they were in good hands. The Tuskegee Airmen were proving themselves not just as capable pilots, but as true heroes. Beyond the battlefield-changing tides, the impact of the Tuskegee Airmen extended far beyond the battlefield. They were symbols of hope. They were inspirations to African Americans across the nation. Their service challenged the ingrained racism of the time. It chipped away at the foundations of segregation. Their courage and determination resonated with a nation yearning for equality. They proved that, given the opportunity, African Americans could excel in all aspects of American life, including the military. A legacy forged in fire. The war ended in 1945. The Tuskegee Airmen returned home as heroes. They had flown over 15,000 sorties. They had earned over 150 distinguished flying crosses. They had helped pave the way for a more just and equal society. Their story, however, did not end there. Their bravery and sacrifice had a profound and lasting impact on the civil rights movement. Their accomplishments served as a powerful counter-argument to the racist ideologies that permeated American society. Breaking barriers, inspiring generations. The story of the Tuskegee Airmen is one of courage, determination, and an unyielding spirit. These brave men not only fought against the enemy abroad, but also against the deeply entrenched racial prejudices at home. In 1948, President Harry Truman signed Executive Order 9981. This was a monumental step towards equality, as it marked the beginning of the end for segregation within the United States Armed Forces. This landmark order officially desegregated the United States Armed Forces. It was a significant victory for civil rights, setting a precedent for future integration efforts across the nation. The Tuskegee Airmen played a pivotal role in this historic achievement. Their exceptional performance in combat and their unwavering resolve demonstrated that courage and skill know no color. Their service and sacrifice helped to break down the barriers of segregation, not just in the military, but in American society as a whole. They became symbols of hope and change, inspiring countless others to stand up against injustice. The Tuskegee Airmen's legacy extends far beyond their military service. They were not just warriors in the skies, but also pioneers on the ground, paving the way for future generations. They became educators, politicians, and community leaders. Their influence reached into classrooms, government offices, and community centers, where they continued to advocate for equality and justice. They continued to fight for equality and justice throughout their lives. Their commitment to civil rights did not end with their military service. It was a lifelong mission. Their story inspired generations of Americans to challenge injustice and to strive for a more equitable society. The legacy of the Tuskegee Airmen is a testament to the power of perseverance and the enduring fight for equality. Their courage and dedication continue to inspire us to this day, reminding us that the battle for justice is ongoing and that each of us has a role to play in creating a better future. Monuments to courage, echoes of their roar. The story of the Tuskegee Airmen is a testament to the indomitable spirit of those who dare to dream of a better world. Their legacy is enshrined in museums, monuments, and memorials across the United States. Their story serves as a reminder of the importance of courage, perseverance, and the pursuit of equality. It is a story that continues to inspire and to challenge us to confront injustice wherever we find it. The Tuskegee Airmen, an enduring legacy. The Tuskegee Airmen represent the best of America. They demonstrated extraordinary courage and skill in the face of adversity. They challenged the deeply ingrained prejudices of their time. They fought for their country with honor and distinction. Their story is an integral part of American history, a story of perseverance, triumph, and the ongoing struggle for equality. Their legacy continues to inspire generations of Americans to strive for a more just and equitable society. their spirit lives on. The Tuskegee Airmen may have flown their last mission decades ago, but their spirit lives on. Their story reminds us that even in the darkest of times, hope can take flight. It reminds us that with courage and determination, we can overcome any obstacle. The Tuskegee Airmen soared above the clouds of prejudice, and in doing so, they illuminated the path towards a brighter future for all Americans.